Now we want to test the transaction we created in the previous steps. To do so, we'll have GeneXus build the application, create the database, and do everything necessary to get the programs ready to be run and tested. This test cycle that developers undertake before the application is ready is called prototyping. The full version of GeneXus allows prototyping an application locally. That is to say, the programs in the database will be hosted on our network servers, and also in a cloud that is available to GeneXus users. In addition, we can prototype in any of the programming languages supported. However, in the specialized version for SAP systems, the database will be SAP HANA, the language will be Java, and the prototyping tasks will be done in the Tomcat server that's available to us. In our demo, it'll select the Preferences tab or press F5. We will use this function key very frequently because it allows us to generate all the objects required as well as compile and run the main object. Because it's the first time we press F5, this window is opened to ask us for the server and database details. One way to build applications that use SAP HANA database is to do it through the cloud platform available from SAP called SAP Cloud Platform. For trial purposes, a free account may be created at hcp.sap.com. Here, we register with our email account. If we already have an account, we log into it. From there, going to the option Databases and Schemas in the SAP Cloud Platform cockpit, it's possible to create a new schema within a shared instance of the SAP HANA database offered to free accounts. We create a new schema for what will be the database of our travel agency application. In order to connect this schema through JDBC, we must open a tunnel. To do so, having installed the HANA Cloud Platform SDK corresponding to the version of Java Web Tomcat that we're using, we need to open a command prompt console over the Tools folder. And from there, use this command, where the account and user details are taken from the account we created in the cockpit. So we replace those values in the command. In this case, in which we're using the trial version, the host is hanatrial.ondemand.com. The password is that of our account that we used to log in. The schema is the one we've just created, Travel Agency DB. Note that the tunnel has been opened as a result of the command execution. It'll remain open for 24 hours unless we explicitly close it before that. Now we will use this information about user, password, and schema name in GeneXus to configure how this database schema is accessed. So when we go back to GeneXus, the server name will be localhost because it's the host name value that we're given when the tunnel is opened. The user will be this one. The password will be this one. When we open a new tunnel, the following day or before that if we have to close it for some reason, the password will change and we will also have to change it in GeneXus. Later on, we will see where. The database schema is this one here. If now we press on Finish, GeneXus will build the application from a main object known as Launchpad, which we will see later. But for now, we can say that it will contain all the Fiori list reports of our objects. We don't have any yet, so this object is not useful to us. Therefore, we need GeneXus to run a developer menu in order to try all the objects that are being created, even if they don't have that Fiori pattern incorporated without worrying about programming the invocation. Let's click on Cancel. In the Preferences tab, we see that the information we've just entered has already been configured in the corresponding properties. So if we open the data store's information, we see that we have the default option, SAP HANA, and if we enable the Properties window by pressing F4, or here on the right, and here they are. To run that developer menu we mentioned before, instead of the Launchpad, now we only have to select the active Java environment. For each knowledge base, we can set several environments. We will not see it here. At first, we only have one. And then we delete the Launchpad from the startup object, leaving the default value that is none. Now let's press F5. The output window informs us that the developer menu execution has started and will end with a report called Impact Analysis. In this report, GeneXus examines the impact caused by the new definitions made in the knowledge base. Also, it indicates which additions or structural changes need to be made to the database. If we examine the report, we can see that a new table called Customer will be created. Also, that this table structure will have the following attributes. As we can see, GeneXus will also create an index by customer ID automatically. We will explain this concept later on. Since we agreed to have this table created with this definition in the database, we click on the Create button. So GeneXus starts to create the necessary programs in order to create the customer table in the database with this structure. Next, GeneXus executes those programs. Why did it fail? Why does it show a reorganization error? In the output window, we're informed that the driver to connect to the database hasn't been found within the folder containing all the necessary files to run this application. We solve it by copying it to the directory of this Java environment within the drivers folder. Where do we take it from? It can be downloaded from SAP's website as shown here. We've downloaded it to the folder where everything related to HANA is saved. Now we press F5 again and click on Create. And the customer table is created in the database. Next, GeneXus generates other programs, that is to say, all the necessary lines of code in the selected programming language, so that our application does what we want, which in this case is to enter customer details. Also, we're informed if the result was successful or if there were any errors or warnings. Here we can see the application running. We have two objects. One of them is the Launchpad, which is now empty. And the other one is the customer transaction that we created. We right-click on the link and choose to open it in another tab. Here we have a page that allows us to add, change, and delete customers. We enter the details of our first customer. This customer will be identified with number 1. His name is John. His last name is Smith. He lives on 5th Avenue. His phone number is 1111, and his email address is jsmith@hotmail.com. We click on Confirm, and a message is displayed to inform us that the data has been successfully added. Meanwhile, the form is cleared and ready for us to enter another customer. Let's add the second customer. We identify her with number 2. Her name is Susan. Her last name is Brown. Her address is on 7th Avenue. Her phone number is 2222, and her email address is sbrown@gmail.com. We click on Confirm, and once again, a message is displayed to inform us that the data has been successfully added. To look for John's details, we enter his customer number, 1, and press the Tab key. We can see that John's full details are displayed, and that from here, we could change some information like his phone number. Also, we could even delete customer John from the customer records using the Delete button. We can also use these buttons in the upper section to browse customers by going to the next or the previous one, the first one, or the last one. In addition, we can look for a specific customer using this window. This window was automatically created by GeneXus, and it corresponds to this object. Note that if we change the screen size, the controls are adjusted to the space available. What does this mean? GeneXus generates responsive web applications, or sensitive applications, which offer optimum viewing, good navigation, and excellent use of screen space. This is achieved with design features that allow viewing all the information in the screen using the functions provided by GeneXus to this end. These functions allow us to show different layouts depending on the screen size of the device. Now that we've seen everything that was automatically generated by GeneXus using the customer transaction that we've created, let's go back to the development environment.